everybody, and welcome back to Neurotic News. Welcome back. I guess there was a bit of a hiatus there due to Comedy Festival exhaustion, I guess. One thing I will say before we go into it, so to speak, is, as I've said the last few episodes, Rathi and I, in a matter of, by the time this comes out, a week or two, will be in Edinburgh for the full month of the festival, the Fringe Festival. Doing stand-up. Both of us will be, hey, Rathi?
Yeah.
In Edinburgh. Pushing ourselves to the mental limit.
I can't wait to hear the sound of roller luggage on cobblestones.
Yeah, that's a nice, Or the sound of a drunk Scottish burp, like when it's like real far away.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, because it's so pronounced and loud that you can hear it, like, ah!
Yeah.
But it's like off in a castle, like on a hill, but it's so loud you hear it 100 meters away.
Yeah.
It's like the chirping of the birds, but it's Scottish drunk whiskey burp.
Yeah. It's a cultural.
Yeah. Yeah, they're drinking themselves to death. They're pissing blood and stuff. But come to our shows and so on.
Yeah.
If you can, please. If you're interested. Also, Patreon. We have a Patreon that you can subscribe to, donate small amounts of money to the show so that we can continue to make it, which we're trying to do. Keep it going. And we have some merch as well. There's only a few shirts left of the white shirt you may have seen Rathi wearing with the iceberg and the graffiti on it. It's pretty cool. There's some of them left. But we may do more, depending on that. And that's it. I don't know. Is there anything you want to say, Rathi?
I was just thinking it's funny how doctors have merch.
Do they?
You know what I mean? Like they'll be prescribing you Zoloft and the logo for the drugs on the pen they're writing it with.
Right.
And you're like, I wonder if they're objective.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, when the drug company's giving you free merch, you kind of wonder if they've got a bit of a bias to sell it to you.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I noticed you're wearing the new Zoloft flat brim. He's like trying to look cool and stuff. It's like, yeah. Anyway, I've noticed how nervous you are and, your legs shaking and so on. You might want to try Zoloft.
Yeah.
They've also got a new iPhone cover you get free with the Zoloft prescription.
Yeah. It's like a Metallica concert. You get the merch after to remember it.
Yeah. Yeah, when you're in the doctor's thing and you go in and you have that conversation where you're like, I can't come anymore because of Lexapro.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, well, I think you should keep taking it to keep away the suicidal ideation. And then you leave and you pick up like a free Lexapro shirt on the way out.
And the pen to write your suicide note with.
I can't believe we've already got 2 suicide references in the first 30 seconds or whatever.
Those Lexapro pens are cool,
Is that your favorite pharmaceutical?
That's yeah.
Is that your favorite pharmaceutical merch?
Yeah.
Yeah. Lexapro.
I like the Paxil shirt.
Which one's Paxil? Is that a brand or is that a drug?
Sometimes it's the generic name.
Really?
When they ask you if you want the generic?
Yeah.
And you're like, why not?
Yeah. And I always say, is there any difference? Because I don't want this rash to continue. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, just please tell me if there's a quality difference.
Don't say they're cutting on like critical ingredients.
Yeah, like this isn't made in an Indian slum.
Yeah.
This
one's missing the active ingredient.
Yeah.
But it's generic. It's cheaper. Yeah. It's a lot cheaper.
Yeah, I don't want any corners cut.
Yeah.
When it comes to my antidepressant or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want a targeted approach.
Yeah, definitely. But they, you know what they always say? They always say the same thing. There's no difference.
Yeah.
It's like, what am I paying for then?
Brand
Just
recognition.
the brand. Because I guess if BMW or whatever released an antidepressant and it had the same active ingredient, you'd be like, yeah, maybe I'll get the BMW one instead of like the black and gold.
Yeah. Well, it's the imagery, it's the vibe.
Because I feel like that's the next team up.
Yeah.
Because like mental illness has become so in the consciousness and the zeitgeist and popular that I kind of feel like brands might jump on board.
Into the mental illness bandwagon.
Yeah. Just like the anti-anxiety drug by like Adidas or whatever.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you can, sport it a little bit because people kind of, I feel like ADHD and stuff like, you know what I mean? Like I feel like if there was what's a cool brand? Like a New Balance, Nike. You know, they have weird brand mashups.
Yeah.
Like I remember Asus had
Adderall,
like
Adidas.
yeah. Adderall, Adidas.
Adderall. Like I don't know. They're similar words.
Yeah.
I saw an article in one of those like Sunday supplements with someone going like they bravely came out with their ADHD diagnosis. But I feel like the real hero is the one person who keeps their ADHD diagnosis a secret.
That's the definition of bravery today.
But they still had the stigma in the 90s.
Right.
When they were the kid who couldn't get the red cordial because they'd like headbutt a dog or whatever.
Mm.
You know those kids?
Yeah. I remember, yeah.
So like they'd had the stigma of that. And now when you can get points out of it, they're like, no, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like they hold it in.
That's brave.
Yeah.
When you can't go, oh, geez, I noticed you're struggling focusing. I'm totally fine. I've just had a big day.
Yeah.
Whoa. You're not going to mention ADHD or how you think you're ADHD and that other people have ADHD.
No, I just noticed you were jerking off to Pornhub while trying to make a risotto. So I thought something might have been happening with your attention span, like that it was maybe fractured like tectonic plates during an earthquake, because it feels like you can't focus.
No. I'm actually doing okay. I just do that from time to time. It's a way of self-expression.
I'm raw dogging life. Or whatever.
Yeah. That's all.
Yeah.
That's what Western culture is now. What is Western culture? Freedom is basically the ability to post on social media, like your abs or tits or like just looking good and then posting something that you believe. Like that's freedom, I think.
Yeah.
It's like, hey guys, stop racism. Here's a picture of my ass. I'm free.
Yeah.
You know?
That's the best.
Like I feel like that's what it's become.
Yeah.
Just, just like expressing yourself on social. Like what is freedom in our culture now, do you think?
Doing coke off an iPhone. Like you're pretty much pulling the trigger on a Mexican drug cartel member while pushing a Chinese laborer out of a window at the same time.
Right.
But also going, you should go to the rally.
Go to the Palestinian rally and so on.
Yeah, it's like you're the one who just did both those things.
Yeah. And then you're also missing the Congolese slave labor mining camp.
Oh, that one.
Yeah. That's also part of the supply chain or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, those guys.
Yeah. There's always a new one. There's like niche ones that aren't as popular as other oppression.
Yeah, it reminds me of those weird organ traffickers. You know, the Falun
Gong.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you see them. Yeah, they're like a boutique oppression.
Yeah.
Cause.
They're like the David Lynch of movements.
Right, yeah, because they're like sort of obscure and you don't fully understand it. And
you just see like a picture of like a liver that's been taken out.
Yeah, like breast cancer's got a great PR. It's like pink and whole football teams but you don't really see that with the Falun Gong organ harvesting movement.
Yeah.
Like to see like the Broncos or whatever, or Collingwood AFL team sponsored by like an anti-organ harvesting. It's anti-organ harvesting week. You know, they always have weeks in football that are a charity.
Yeah, you never see like Wendell Saylor doing a speech about like harvesting organs in the Xinjiang province. Like, do you know what I mean? You never go, we're doing this meat tray for the Kwalong people.
Trevor lost his kidney when he was in Shanghai.
People are like, what? No, he went there to see the Great Wall and got kidnapped and had his organs harvested. So we're doing the meat tray raffle.
Yeah.
To get the organs back.
Yeah. All the football players have a liver like posted on their jersey for that week.
Then you get awareness.
Yeah.
I mean, that organ shit's
just some diseases are more prominent.
That one's confusing too. It's like, what are they doing? Is this?
Yeah. What is that about? Do you know what it means or anything?
I've only seen the pictures of the organs.
Yeah, because they go pretty street level, the charity for that.
They've not gone digital. Like there's no app or QR code for the organs. Like it's like a pamphlet.
Right.
Like it really hasn't gone digital.
No, it hasn't. Yeah. Speaking of which, anyway, not speaking of which, but are you moving out at the moment?
Yeah, well, I just got evicted.
You got evicted?
Yeah, but it was very traumatic, you know.
You know what I was going to say, actually, that I just thought of something to do with, like causes that, one group that you can fully make fun of that have no representation with that? Old people.
Yeah.
That's the group that I reckon is the equation of like most oppressed. Like they have the institutional problems with retirement homes. They have like money problems. They have no voice in society. Like people less fractured in their family. Like they like there's less community for the elderly, but you can also just do their voice, make fun of them. You know what I mean? Like it's a whole.
Yeah.
You can be like, oh, I'm a stupid old fucking idiot. I'm a dumb old cunt.
Yeah, yeah.
But you can't really do that with the Chinese accent or whatever.
Oh, yeah, you can do the old accent.
You can do old face.
Like you can do that.
Like people do old face like Jackass.
Yeah.
Did old face where they put on like wrinkled and they're like, I'm an old dumb man. Imagine that, being an old dumb fuck.
Yeah. That's so true. You can.
It's like a hole.
There's a loophole.
System. There's a loophole.
Yeah.
You can do old face and old voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's, I don't know if it's because we all eventually become it.
Right. So it feels like it's not as prejudiced. Like you can't eventually become black.
Yeah, you can't, you don't slowly become black over time and have like a brief Filipino period in the middle. And then it's like, so I think if there was that journey, you know, it might be different.
Right, yeah.
Because you kind of, and also you're related to other old people too. You can be like, I'm related to one.
Yeah. I'm allowed to do old face.
Yeah.
My granddad is old.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, like everyone has a cousin that's also a family member that's old.
You know how someone's like, I'm allowed to. My cousin's Korean or whatever. It's like that.
I'm allowed to make homophobic jokes. My friend is homophobic.
Yeah. And I myself am.
I also identify as homophobic. Anyway, I sorry to divert.
No, but also it's weird with old people too, like that the number one cause of death is having a fall. Because you don't think of the floor as being dangerous.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
Like the floor is what kills them. Like
the floor can yeah.
Like if nursing homes were like bouncy castles, like if they're made out of the same stuff as jumping castles.
Right.
Maybe people would live a lot longer.
It's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really don't think of like you don't think of the floor. Like no one's ever like, come in, be careful, there's a floor.
Yeah.
So we're just doing our best to, make sure it's safe and keep it covered and so on.
It's everywhere.
Yeah, well, it's kids and old people, isn't it?
Yeah.
You got to watch floors dangerous for kids too.
And kids love bouncy castles too, so they can visit. Like they'll visit more.
Yeah.
Like it'll reduce alienation.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we need to engage in the elderly. I mean, I think they should have like, because the biggest problem is like people are young and they're like out partying and shit in our culture and like having fun, and they sort of move out of home and they just lose the family kind of connection, and then they lose connection with the elderly.
Yeah. Like
that's a real thing now. Like it's just like there's no connection between the youth and the elderly. And what do youth people want to do? They want to go to music festivals. They want to take MDMA, Molly, do coke, go to nightclubs, right?
Yeah.
Go to like clubs and bars. I think there has to be an initiative where we get old people somehow, I don't know what the technical thing is, but just have them in a glass cube or something in the club.
Yeah.
So like 50 cents playing if I'm in the club, and then there's just like barrel and like just old people sitting there, and when you're chewing off your fat, like you're like young, like 20, like fuck, like you can go into this room and just have a moment with the elderly, like they're present.
Oh, that's great. So if you're if you're having like a complete MDMA freak out or whatever, or like you've taken too many drugs, you can go in and talk to Beryl and she's like, it's okay.
Yeah.
And kind of just nurture you.
Right. And you're just sitting there going, fucking like, were you like a convict? Like just really confused.
Yeah.
Like about how old they are and what like time and
Because it's like, man, I did too much coke and I need some perspective.
Yeah.
So you talk to like a sober 90-year-old.
Yeah.
Who tells you about what life was like as a chimney sweep.
Yeah.
And it like sobers you up a bit. You're like, fuck, man, that's crazy.
Yeah, dude, fuck, man. They just didn't even have phones or nothing back then. And they used to just listen to the radio, dude.
Yeah.
Like, and you have this respect for the elderly because they're present. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they're there.
That's the kind of initiative you want to see.
Well, there's no diversity push for elderly.
Yeah.
It's like, let's get black, let's get women, let's get trans representation, let's get queer representation, let's get, you know what I mean? Like, let's get the elderly.
But they can't add the old people to the LGBTQ acronym because it's like, these are the people that stopped your rights. Like, have them in the parade?
Yeah. It's like that bit that we've talked about it before, the transfusion of testosterone from a trans person wanting to get rid of testosterone, and then an elderly person who has none hook them up and transfer.
Yeah. People do blood transfusions. What about testosterone?
Transfusions to bring 2 generations of people together.
Yeah, so your granddad can fuck Beryl again.
Yeah.
And you can become Stacey or whatever.
Yeah.
like that's a nice moment.
That's a nice moment.
Yeah.
Like, I'd imagine the clinic is about bringing together 2 groups that may have been opposed to each other. The elderly that are often more conservative, and the young, maybe queer people that are maybe more progressive. And one needs to get rid of testosterone. One needs to...
In any other situation where one person has a resource they don't want and someone else needs it, we have a mechanism to exchange.
Right.
Like, if there's crypto or whatever, we have like crypto wallets and you can
that's right.
mine it and get it. But this is the one thing, we can mine Ethereum from these like huge servers, but we can't mine like testosterone.
Well, it'd be great to do the same, but for dopamine or serotonin.
Yeah.
Because some people are too happy.
Yeah.
And I'm not often. So it's sort of like, you know what I mean? Like, can there be an exchange in that regard?
That's what I feel like, because life gets worse, but you have more stuff. Like,
that's a great, like,
I used to be able to enjoy a sunset, and now I own an air fryer, but I can't come. So it's like, it's been a weird trade-off of getting worse.
Yeah.
Because I don't have the chemicals to be like, this is good.
Right. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
But there's people with too many chemicals of happiness.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. I feel like as you get older, though, those chemicals wear off.
Yeah.
But you are more established in your life and career, and you have often more stronger relationships, more money, more stuff. You have a car, hopefully a place, a NutriBullet. Yeah, so you've got more stuff, but you're not
in a position to enjoy the stuff.
Exactly.
But if you'd given that stuff to yourself when you couldn't afford it,
right,
you'd be like, fuck, I'm making a smoothie.
Yeah, if you could push it back in time.
Yeah. That's the tragedy. When you're broke, you would enjoy the shit more.
I'm ready to be rich, man. I'm ready.
But
give it to me.
The enjoyment will be muted, you know?
Yeah. Because by the time I get there, all the serotonin and dopamine and...
There'll be a lot of... You'll just be doing admin for
the to
property.
Keep up the money.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true. Sorry, I interrupted you. You were saying we didn't get there. You're moving out. You got evicted.
Yeah. Well, there's a housing crisis and it's good to participate in it.
Yeah. It's nice to be in what's current.
You know when you're just reading about it?
Yeah. You're like, oh, this is happening to me. It's happening to me too, by the way, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's just...
Yeah, it's hard to avoid.
What's crazy is it was like framed as an inspection.
Right.
Where the builder came in, but then the builder came in with like 8 Aprachniks, the owner, the real estate agents, a stylist.
They came in with a stylist.
Which I'd never heard of.
So they just turned up.
Yeah.
And they're like, you're getting out, we're evicting, and you got to move out in a month. This is the stylist. Hello, we like red.
Yeah, they're being really nice.
Yeah.
They're like, hello. Oh, I'm the stylist. Hey. It's like, oh, you're the person who's going to evict me.
Yes, that's right. But also we want to get more sunlight into the northern area of the apartment.
Yeah, so they're just walking around the house like the SS. Just like scoping for stuff.
Stormtroopers just entered your house illegally, but it's the postmodern Stormtrooper. They come with a stylist, a flat white. The dude's still wearing a black suit though.
Yeah.
The weirdly looks like similar to the SS one.
He looks like an SS who's going to a wedding.
Yeah, yes. Real estate agents do, eh?
Yeah.
Corporate real estate agents do look like
He
SS.
looks like Himmler going to like his wedding.
Yeah.
Wedding of his friend.
Mm.
Like is it?
Oh, Himmler's here.
Yeah.
And this apartment overlooks the bay.
Yeah, and it's like they're wearing like deck shoes with no socks in them and like weirdly groomed.
Really
they're overly groomed.
Yeah.
Like it's annoying. It's an annoying level of grooming.
It's a clean cut, kind of fit white guy with a similar jaw.
Pointy
looking guy in a suit that's very similar to the SS.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dead behind the eyes.
Mm. Yeah.
Like that, yeah, if they found Anne Frank, they'd be like, we're just going to renovate the attic.
Yeah, we actually, because it would be a good gentrification process.
Yeah, we're gonna.
There was a marginalized woman who lived here. She wrote and so on. This was her. That's a great story. Because where I'm staying at the moment, just an Airbnb, but it's in the factory that used to make suitcases.
Yeah,
and they've just got all the pictures on the wall of how good the suitcases were and pictures of the workers making it.
Yeah.
And it's like you walk onto your level and it's like workers used to make suitcases right where you're standing.
It's like a farm to table narrative.
Yeah. But for like where you live.
Yeah. It's like gentrification is when an artist with an ironic mullet moves into a neighborhood and a bloke with an actual mullet has to leave.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? These days you'll see a mullet and you'll be like, are they going to call me a gay cunt or tell me their pronouns?
Right.
Like you can't tell.
Yeah.
Because they're both wearing flannelette shirts.
There is a crossover there where there's like an ironic inner city mullet / flannel high vis, but like working.
Or like overalls.
Boots, and they wear the workers' boots.
Yeah.
Like I see that a lot where a dude's just carrying a flat white until his startup where he's designing another app to destroy our minds.
Yeah.
And he's wearing workers' boots.
He's wearing workers' boots like he's a boilermaker, like he's welding.
Yeah.
Even though the fucking overalls he bought belonged to a concreter who drove his forklift off a wharf because they turned his shipping container into a gastropub. And that's where hipsters go to vintage shops to buy the clothes of the people they kicked out of the neighborhood.
Right.
I think that's what happens.
Yeah, that's right. You go to the vintage shop and it's all the people that had to immediately sell all their working clothes because they got kicked out because it became too expensive and the factory shut down.
Yeah.
And now there's a dude going, this overall's probably used by a welder. It's fascinating.
Isn't it crazy?
Yeah. It's weird, like, that your apartment and your coffee shop becomes like a museum to who used to work there.
Yeah.
Who would weirdly be bullying the people that are there.
Yeah. Well, it's just hipsters mocking their victims, really. With the flannelette shirts and the overalls. But also they would like correct the people's language who they're wearing their clothes of.
Yeah, true.
They'd be like, not like that, Gary.
You don't say that anymore, Gary.
He's like, but they're my overalls.
You retard. We don't say that anymore.
Yeah. I bought your overalls for $300. Even though you bought them for $10 at Target, but they're authentic now. Because you got displaced in them.
The story, again, it's the story.
Oh, you'll see like little placards on vintage stores where they're like, this belonged to Terry before he hung himself during the Great Displacement. I think vintage shops are just a cemetery for the clothes of the working class so hipsters can mock their victims.
Right. An ironic subconscious mocking of,
It's like the inflated price of the overalls is a metaphor for what they did to their neighborhood.
I see what you mean. And one of the looks is lumberjack too. That's a big one, I find. You don't see many lumberjacks anymore in the wild.
No.
I think that's a dying art.
You'll see them in the CBD at an axe throwing place.
Yeah.
That's the full mockery, that.
Yeah.
Because you're mocking the job as well.
Yeah, it used to be lumberjacks here. Now it's an inner city factory where you can throw the axes the lumberjacks left behind when they were displaced.
Yeah.
By gentrification.
This is what he used to use.
Yeah.
Throw it. And then I find it interesting when they have a sip and paint place, those crafternoon places. I feel like they're the next stage of gentrification where the bankers come in and evict the artists. that evicted the working class.
Right. It's the full cycle. So you
Yeah.
get the working class, they get the artists come in
Yeah.
and they paint and do all that. And then the bankers come in and then it gets too expensive even for the artists and they're pretending to paint at the sip and paint.
Yeah.
Drinking
with
red
the Shiraz.
wine.
They're like, he would have done this in a portrait of a mangrove.
When he was cutting himself or whatever because he was so poor.
Yeah.
Living in an old workers factory who also got displaced and I'm wearing his overalls.
Yeah. It's the full.
It's a full circle. It's like a babushka doll.
It really is. It's a babushka doll of eviction and impersonation. It's like your landlord coming in and doing you. Time to go, mate.
It is like a storm. It is like a storming, isn't it?
Yeah.
They come in with the suits and the stylist and they're like, this is going to be an apartment. There's going to be a gastro pub underneath, coffee cafe across the road. And you're like, oh. And you had to go. You're like, you had to just, that's it. You're out in a month.
Yeah.
You're gone.
You got 30
find
days.
somewhere new.
They give you the absolute minimum of time, even though you've been there for 5 years or whatever.
Yeah. It's disgraceful because the guy who owns the place has got 10 properties.
Yeah, they've got a diverse portfolio.
I miss the days when the progressive movement was about killing landlords.
Oh.
Remember those days?
Guillotine.
You'd drag them through the streets.
Oh, I'd love to. It should be that way.
That was the big focus. Landlords, big corporations, you know?
Yeah.
Doesn't feel that way anymore, really, does it? Unfortunately.
I feel like in the olden days, the landlord didn't impersonate you during the eviction.
Right.
Like he didn't come in and evict like a chimney sweep and just be like, time to go, governor. You've got to go. He was just like, get the fuck out.
Yeah. There wasn't a
Huh?
nicety, you mean?
Yeah.
Because I feel like it sounds like your eviction was quite nice.
Yeah. Gentle. Makes it harder.
Because they're nicer.
I'd prefer the brutality.
It is weird when the stylist is walking around where you live and you're cooking breakfast and stuff and they're
going, this would look great with you not in it.
Yeah.
Thinking of removing
the
you.
lighting will work even better when you're gone.
Yeah, it's better without you.
You fucking red nut cunt. Like, just weirdly.
And I love, like, because you'll inspect properties, so you end up being part of this
charade, like an act.
Yeah, like
a play.
Yeah. You're inspecting them and you're queuing up with 20 other disgruntled evictees.
Yeah.
And it feels like you're rehearsing for the soup kitchen you may have to go to if this doesn't work out.
Yeah.
Like if this queue doesn't work out,
there'll be another queue.
There'll be another queue.
Yeah, and it's called Centrelink.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've been in those queues.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm living in my dad's basement.
Have you ever been in a queue where you go in and the tenants of that place that are about to be kicked out are there?
Yeah.
That's interesting, eh?
It is like a postmodern, like a adaptive, like innovative theatre piece.
Yeah.
Of our housing crisis.
I see what you mean. Like,
yeah, because sometimes they do theatre where they show the actors preparing and stuff. Like it's a weird, like postmodern thing where you're like, these are the actors that are getting ready to go do the. It's kind of like that. It's like these are the people that are being evicted. Like you were evicted. Now you get to watch them.
Yeah.
In real time.
This is what you're doing at your place.
He's boiling an egg.
Yeah.
He's got no money.
He's in his natural habitat.
Yeah. He's got one egg to eat today.
This is the natural habitat of a share house. A man boiling an egg with no condiments.
And if you look out the window in the distance in that BMW, that's the guy who owns this property and 14 others that you also got evicted from.
Yeah.
He likes to watch. He likes to watch.
Then you got to fucking overhear their Zoom calls in the cafe. That's, like the...
Because they're talking real loud. Yeah. We evicted 4 today. We're going to save a lot of money. I don't know why.
I walked in once in one of those weird laptop fucking Zoom things, and I think I heard the word roster, itinerary, and some other word that, do you know what I mean? Like just that.
The words.
But all in one sentence.
Right. They ticked them all off.
Just roster, itinerary.
Workplace is a common one. The workplace. Yeah. The roster at culture? The workplace or the work culture.
He kept saying culture. He's like, that's the culture we want to build.
Yeah.
But it was a corporate environment.
Yeah, they talk a lot about culture. I think if they have a free kombucha in the office, it's like adding culture. But it doesn't make any difference.
The drink is depressed. A cultured product. Yeah. Like it has a culture of bacteria.
The cultured drink adds culture to the office.
Yeah, we drink kombuchas while we evict. Because the Ray White office will have like a bike in the window and stuff. You know how they have like a weird...
An ironic bike?
Yeah, like
you do see ironic bikes.
It's
bikes
ironic
have become
bikes.
ironic.
This belonged to a cyclist we did a hit and run on.
Is this the real estate agent?
Yeah. We just thought it'd make a good like...
It's just funny to look at a bike now and go like, yeah, it's an old bike. Just bikes were old ones. It's crazy.
They put them up on the wall, upholstered.
I've seen a lot of bikes as museum pieces.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like in 100 years, will they look at our weird laptop, you know, the seats that have no back because it's better for your back.
Oh, yeah.
The kneeling weird laptop desk in the corporate office. Like, will that be hung up, or will that be photos of that in your apartment in 100 years?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like a standing desk?
Yeah, a standing desk.
Like an exhibition of a standing desk?
Yeah, like, you know, they have the black and white photos as like pieces of art when you walk into an apartment of the factory that I was saying. It'll be like that, but just people at a standing desk having a Zoom meeting.
Yeah,
and it's like, they used to have Zoom meetings here.
This is amazing.
Before the singularity.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah. I can imagine a tech startup who like automates manufacturing wearing high-vis.
Right.
Like in like 20 years.
As like a fashion.
Yeah, it'll be like high-vis.
Fashion?
Yeah. It's like, oh, he's wearing high-vis. He must have worked for that app company that automates manufacturing.
Yeah, because it's what he got rid of.
Yeah, so it's like they take the clothes. It's like when a warlord wears the skulls of their victims.
Yeah, that's
as like a necklace.
Yeah. He's like, we destroyed that race, and these are all the ones that, you know, these are all the skulls of the village we conquered or whatever.
So many memories in this.
Yeah.
Paid 10,000 Bitcoin for this high-vis.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
You have to pay crypto to buy vintage high-vis. Like just this weird world.
Yeah.
Just scan your Neuralink. That's 10,000 crypto for the high-vis that
10,000
belong to Gary.
Points. Yeah. I love it. Well, I think we'll keep it punchy today and wrap it up there. But thanks, Rathy.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I think you covered a lot there. I feel like we did well. Thanks for listening, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.